Hey, good afternoon. This is Glen, owner of Good Works Auto Repair in sunny Tempe, Arizona. And today we're going to have a very special episode. This is Blood and Guts. We're going to call this episode Blood and Guts. Why are we going to call it Blood and Guts? Because when people don't maintain their cars properly, terrible things can happen. Today, Blood and Guts under the hood with Glen. And right here we have a 2012 Chrysler 300 with a 3.5 engine that a customer bought recently. He got an extended warranty on the thing, and shortly after he bought it, something terrible happened and it quit running. So I'm going to go into the car right now. We're going to do the part of the Blood and Guts portion right here. So the oil pan is off of this, and as you can see, the sludge all over this, all this black smeary junk here that looks like tar. Well, that's what happened because the engine oil didn't get changed. Maybe ever, I don't know. This thing's got 115,000 miles on it. If you look right here, this is the strainer that pulls the oil up and circulates it through the motor. You see all of those metal particles that are all trapped up in there, which squeeze off. It's like having a clogged artery. It doesn't allow the oil to circulate. And so if you look back here to the section right here, there's a big hole right here in the lower oil pan. That was caused by the parts that broke off, and another hole up in here where I'm pointing. That's where the piston rod used to be, and maybe you can see it, but the piston actually got twisted sideways in the cylinder. So the reason why I harp a lot on the subject of maintenance is because when you don't do maintenance on vehicles, when you don't change the oil, when you don't change the power steering fluid, the transmission fluid, the coolant, these are some of the terrible things that can happen. And at the end of the day, his warranty company sent out an inspector, and the inspector looked at this car and he says, this guy never changed the oil. He didn't maintain this vehicle. It wasn't his opinion that they were or were not going to pay the claim. He just goes there and presents the facts. Well, at the end of the day, they denied his claim. Now he needs a motor in this vehicle, and Lord only knows what else when the engine locked up, if it damaged something in the transmission or anything else like that. So I'm going to lower the car, and I'll be back with you in just a second, because in the trunk of this car is the oil pan with all the broken pieces that landed there from him not changing the oil. So here again is the parts that we took off the bottom of the vehicle. And as you can see, all of these little nasty pieces, this is all the stuff that broke inside of the engine that ended up in the oil pan right there. So you got a piston rod, you got a wrist pin, you got parts and pieces of the block and things that broke out of there. And so this is the Blood and Guts, folks, and let me tell you, this is going to cost this guy about $3,000 even to put a used motor in this thing. So again, the lesson is, if the place where you're taking your car is recommending, and they can show you by the condition of fluids or whatever, there's no way that we can take a picture inside of your engine. So again, when you buy a vehicle, you really don't know, when you buy a used vehicle, how well that vehicle's been maintained. But oftentimes there are telltale signs for experts like my guys here. You pull a dipstick and you see a bunch of sludge on the dipstick itself. Even if they've changed the oil, you can tell if there's been burned oil on that thing, which means the vehicle hasn't been maintained well. Same thing with the dipstick for the transmission. Unfortunately, many vehicles now don't have a dipstick on the transmission, so all you can do is unscrew a plug somewhere and get a sample of the fluid. So once again, the reason why we at Good Works and other great shops around the country, wherever you happen to be, are very emphatic about doing good maintenance on your vehicle, because literally thousands of dollars on a single car are wasted every year by people not doing maintenance. Oh, I'll do it next time. They make the excuse, I don't have the money right now. Well, if you don't have the money to do a $250 or $300 maintenance repair, on a maintenance service on a vehicle, you certainly aren't going to have $2,000 or $3,000 to do it when it breaks. So again, you know, if you're a gambler, then, you know, keep throwing the dice, because lack of maintenance is going to cost you a lot of money down the road. You will literally save up to 70%, and this is not an exaggeration, 70% on repairs if you'll do maintenance when it's scheduled to be done. So please, 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 make sure that you're checking your owner's manual, listening to the advice of a good, honest shop that has a great reputation, because in the long run, you're going to save a lot of money. Thanks a lot for your time today.